G'day everyone, Luke here.
Hi everyone, it's Shady.
And welcome to this game week, edition of our weekly podcast. Well, first of all, Shady, what do you think, what were your thoughts on the recent Benevento match?
Good game, and well done, Liz, for guessing it right. I mean,
you got it.
Yeah, she got it. I mean, when we have her on next time, we'll see how she goes, because either she's going to be competing for like the Mystic, she's either going to be Mystic Liz or Lucky Liz. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's only one Mystic Liz, we know that.
You know what? I was so annoyed when because it was in the back of my mind, my 3-0 prediction.
Yeah. When
that Kessie shot that hit the not the crossbar, the post.
Post. Yeah.
It should have gone in, but Liz, you can have it this week.
Yeah, it just wasn't your day, man.
No.
But a clean sheet. Donnarumma was huge.
Oh.
I think the sending off, Tonali's sending off was a bit harsh, to be honest. I did not agree with that. I thought that was a yellow card. I think it's been said, when it's on VAR and when it's in slow motion, things can get blown out of proportion a bit. But obviously, he's not a malicious player. He's never harmed. He's never gone out to intentionally harm someone. So I don't know.
I can understand why there was a red in that it didn't look great, but yeah, I don't think that there was a malicious intent there, but it was pretty clumsy, and I think he was frustrated at the time. So I did somewhat understand it. It's annoying, and particularly with this game coming, it's
exactly. I mean, that's why I'm so pissed. It's because it's the Juventus game. And we're kind of short in midfield, so looking highly likely it's going to be Kessie and Krunic, and Krunic is going to have to play the game of his life, really.
Yeah.
I think because it's good. It's a tough game coming up.
I do think that. I mean, we know that Krunic isn't. He's not a starting 11 quality player. Maybe he will be in the future, but at the moment he's not. But I think he did when he came in for Diaz. I think he did add a bit of steel into that midfield and just kind of shore things up a little bit, taking us through the end of the match. I think the real stars, you've already said him, Donnarumma. I think Kier was, for coming back, I love that guy. Seriously, he can't do anything wrong. I think those two, particularly, even Romagnoli, I think they won us the game. It might have been Leao and Kessie that scored the goals, but I think they were the real ones that deserve the credit.
100%. I think our defensive unit looked a lot better. Looked really good. To be honest, I was thinking that Kier would need some time after coming back from his injury, but he slotted in there, and it was seamless. I loved it. Romagnoli's, stepping up again, and we want that. Traditionally, when we've discussed this, when we face bigger opponents, he tends to sometimes have a mishap or two. So hopefully he can really step up, because this is arguably, we had a great game, but we're going into arguably our toughest game of the season. I think this is one of those bottlenecks. If we can get past this one, then we should be good. Because I don't think Inter can maintain this tempo they've got. They're on a great run, but I don't think they'll be able to keep it going to the end of the season. I don't see them doing that. And I think if we can get some real daylight between us and Juventus, then we should be okay. Because I think that, funnily enough, I know they're in 5th or 6th now, but really they're the ones that I look at. They're the ones that worry me. They're the team that worries me. For reasons on and off the pitch, they're the team that, that I would always like to have some daylight between us when it comes to Syria.
I completely agree. It's, in a lot of ways, we're lucky. Obviously, because we're Milan supporters this season, but as just Serie A supporters in general, we're lucky to see what's happening this season with Juventus falling behind and Inter kind of eating away our lead over time. But I think everyone is in agreement that Juve will come storming home. We know, obviously, Billo came in. A few other signings have come in or back from injury. And they're coming. Obviously, they've got that game in hand from the Napoli issue that happened. So yeah, they're definitely coming.
You never know how that will go, though. So, but true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I think really in terms of how this season will end, you're completely right in saying that this could be one of the most important matches, because we all know how valuable 1 or 3 points are at the end of the season.
Oh, 100%. And I think going into like such a crunch game like this, with the absences we have as well, I mean, it's just it really will. I'm not saying it will make or break our season, but arguably our toughest game this season, and arguably the game that will really show. I mean, time and time again, we've said this is a true test of the team, and thankfully, I mean, in touch wood, this team has come out on top every single time for the past few months, and this is just another time. I think I would say that. But I really think this game will be the acid test for where we end up when we finish the season.
Completely.
A draw or a loss, probably talking about Champions League spots. I think if we can win this with the absences we have a real shot at the Scudetto. And I'll start to believe that we can really do it. So here's hoping. Completely. I mean, yeah. Sorry, no, you go.
Yeah, and really the team. I mean, we've said this a few times that the game ahead is a really important match that we need to prove ourselves. And this team, for whatever reason, obviously there's that grinta that we always talk about, that passion, that spirit. But this team just keeps the fighting will to keep going and somehow eke out 3 points or a draw is incredible. I kind of get drawn back to that. The English commentators in that last Benevento match commented at the end that even though it wasn't the flashiest game from us, and really you could argue that we didn't really deserve to win it maybe, but they said this really is a team of champions. I mean, they haven't won much, but the way they're playing, nothing, I mean, touch wood, can get in their way, it seems. They just keep jumping over every hurdle that comes in front of them.
Yeah, definitely the right mentality. I mean, it's come up time after time again. Even that Rio Heavy game, the penalty shootout that kept going on.
Yes,
the derby. We've done well, winning in Napoli. So I'm very proud of this team. Obviously, we're behind the team no matter what. I'm very proud of what this team's done, and I really believe if we can get this win, we can really start to dream. And yeah, here's hoping.
Absolutely.
Who are we? I mean, you're looking at this Juventus squad. They've got who's out for them? Alexandro, I think, and with COVID, and I think Morata's out. Is there anyone else?
I think, I think apart from those two, they've got a pretty full squad from what I've seen.
Almost full squad, yeah, almost full squad.
Yeah.
Who do you see? I mean, obviously Ronaldo. I mean, who else do you think will be causing us trouble, if anyone?
Yeah, I have earmarked Ronaldo to have a big game. He's already killing it this season, but I think that mindset that he has is going to drive him through and drive him insane for the next few months to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, I've always been somewhat of a fan of Chiesa, and it will kind of hurt me to see him playing for Juve against us, because I did want him to come to Milan. But yeah, it's a strong team that they have, really.
Yeah, true.
And what about you, Shady? Who are you worried about?
Definitely Ronaldo. And maybe Ronaldo, and I think maybe, I don't know if Rabiot is going to get the nod. He scored against us last time around when that amazing 4-2 comeback win. Maybe him, maybe like from set pieces, I'd be worried about set pieces in general. Yeah. I think if Danelo's playing on the left, just to cover for Alexandro, that could potentially be a good spot for us to exploit. Yep. That being said, it's looking increasingly likely that Castelleo is going to be playing. And to be honest, I mean, again, repeating what I've said before, I don't think he's the best option on the right wing, even if Salamakers is out. I think there would be. I mean, I would even play Hago on the right.
Yeah. I would agree
over him. But yeah, so it'll be good to see Theo back in the starting lineup. I think he'll give. I think if Cuadrado's back on the right for them, Theo will give him a good run for his money. and hopefully they don't do us too much damage. Quadrado coming in from the right, always cutting in. That's always a dangerous one because he always seems to win like free kicks or penalties, either free kicks from the edge of the area, which are really dangerous, or penalties. So I'd be worried about that. So hopefully Theo's like really sharp tomorrow. Let's hope so.
And do you think, we know that, he had an amazing season last season, Dybala, but he started a bit slower, but it seems that he's clicking on a little bit this season. Do you think he's one, he's always one to look out for, but are you expecting him to cause a few problems for us as well?
Yeah. I saw Cassano the other day have a go at him and say that basically he bottles it when it's like a big game or when the pressure's on. And I'm not sure about that. I think Dybala, is a clutch player. I think he's done really well under pressure, and he's scored a lot of goals, I think, for Juventus in the big games. So I would disagree with that.
Yeah.
He's a great player. Maybe he's not consistent throughout the season, but he's a great player. He would walk into most sides. So yeah, Dybala definitely. I think Ronaldo kind of overshadows everything, but Dybala definitely. Could cause us some harm, and he has caused harm against us before in the past. So I'd be wary of him. I think our best strategy would be, and it's a big ask, but our best strategy would be to do what we did in that 4-2 game, basically, which is you're not going to be able to sit back and defend against them as we've done in the past few years and ended up losing either through a sucker punch or a debatable penalty or whatever. I think just go for the attack, outscore them some way. Obviously, don't be sensible about it. But with a bit of caution, but outscore them as we did. We took them by storm. It was a tsunami, that 4 tsunami. Yeah. That's the only way to beat them, I think.
Yeah.
They're such a good team that you can't sit back and defend against them.
Absolutely, and we saw Fiorentina do that when they beat them 3-0. So I completely agree.
Exactly.
Agree.
And I think as you mentioned before we were on the pod before, we started the podcast now. You mentioned Juventus are desperate for the win. So they've got nothing to lose. They are gonna go for this. They can't afford another setback. So we can exploit that in terms of counterattacks. I think Rafael Leao will play a good role, can play an important role in that. And I think he hopefully can build on that amazing goal he scored against Benevento with a goal or two, hopefully against the team.
Well, I guess facing a Juventus team that's desperate for points, what are your predictions, Shady?
All right, prediction time. I think the optimist inside. I'm gonna stay optimistic. I'm gonna go for a 1-goal win.
Yep.
The realist in me would probably say a 1-1 or 2-2 draw, but I think 2-1 win. I'm gonna go for 2-1 win, a 1-goal difference win, 2-1 win.
I think I agree. I'm gonna back you in, Shady, and I'll say the same. 2-1.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Sweet. Let's hope so. And we'll make our weekend a lot sweeter, wouldn't it?
Yep, and make contest sweat a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so. And I think once the pressure's on them, I think they're going to crack eventually. They've got an older squad as well, which is experienced, and that's good, obviously. But I don't think they've got the legs. I don't know. I think by the end of the season, some of their players are really going to, not Lukaku, obviously, or other players are in really good shape. But I think some of the older players, Vidal and co, will not be able to handle the end of the season, the pressure come the end of the season. We'll see.
Hey, the other thing that's just kind of reminded me of is that the transfer period is open. Are there any holes in the team that you think we need to fill urgently?
I think we've been looking at a centre back, haven't we? There's been a lot of rumours flying around the past couple of days. I didn't bring that up because I'm not sure. We seem to have reached an agreement with Strasbourg. But that's been thrown to the wind now, and lots of other rumours. What do you think is happening? What's the latest there?
Yeah, I've heard the exact same. Is it Simakan?
Yeah.
From Strasbourg. I probably got that wrong. But I've heard there's a slight disagreement with how much Strasbourg want for him. But yeah, it is interesting that the centre back position is the one that they seem most desperate to fill. I would have thought maybe another centre mid maybe would be helpful.
Bring back your boy Povega.
Yeah, Yeah, my boy.
Yeah.
Get him back.
Get your mate back, because I reckon we could use him tomorrow against Juve, man. I mean, I think I agree with you. Krunic has got heart, and he's every time he's played for us, he's given it his all, definitely.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be enough tomorrow, but yeah, sometimes he has looked suspect. He has looked a bit lacking. So yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, this has been good, mate. We'll look forward to talking over the weekend.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and I think on the weekend we'll be announcing we'll have a few guests coming up in the next few weeks, right? Really exciting time.
Really, really exciting. Really, yeah.
We've got some real heavyweights coming on, so that'll be good, I think, to announce them on Saturday. Once we've confirmed it.
Exciting times.
All right. Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thanks for as always. Forza Milan.
Forza Milan.